Okay, so now let's make our next ornament. This will be the icicle. This one, I think that turned out so pretty. Okay, so what we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We're not going to dump out all of the beads, but we will be using 3, 4, and 5, and the colored ones too. So first, let's get our wire out and take that tag off so that you can use it. And we want to straighten it out. Again, pull one little end out, stick your finger in it. Maybe it will straighten out. And then just try and run your fingers on it and pull a little bit to make it a little bit straighter. Okay, this time, give it about an inch or an inch and a half, and I want you to make a little loop in it. Like that. The reason why we're doing that this time is because we're going to start putting things on this end, and we don't want them to fall off the other end. So first, we're going to start with the number 5s. They're the smallest ones. I don't want you to dump all of them out though. We're going to use just 4 of them. So I'm going to open up the bag and put 4 in my hand. Maybe. There they come. There's 4. And the other 4 we'll save because we'll use those in a little bit. So take the end of your wire that you didn't put the loop in, and we're just going to put all 4 of those number 5 beads right down the wire. Here's 1, 2, come back here. There's 3 and 4. And let them go all the way down, and they'll stop right next to your loop. That's why we did that. Next, we're going to use the number 4 beads, and again, we're just going to use half of them, so we're going to use 3 of them this time. So I'm going to put 3 in here. Part of the reason why I'm not having you dump them all out is because once they're all mixed on the tray, sometimes it's hard to see which one's smallest and which one's a little bit bigger. So these will be a little bit bigger than the number 5s, and we're going to put all 3 of them on the wire. There's 1, 2, and 3. Let them slide down so you can see the tiny ones are at the end, and then the number 4s. Okay, then we want the number 3s, and this time we are going to use all of them. We're going to use all 5 of these. So I'm going to just dump them out because that's all that I've got on my tray right now. So I'll take my wire and I'll put the 5 beads on next. There's 3. There it is. 4 and 5. Okay, so you see how it goes from the smallest to the biggest. But now we're going to go down the other direction and make it go smaller at the other end. So go back to your 4s, and you can dump the other 3 out on your tray. Oh, I sealed it up again. There we go. So we'll put those 3 on next. And then there's 2 and a 3. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing with the 5s. You should have 4 number 5 beads left. You can put them right out on your tray. And we'll stick them on next. Okay, now we've got all of our clear beads on there. What we're going to put on next is our star. So in your packet of colored beads, there should be a star in there. So take that out first. In fact, you can go ahead and dump that out because we're going to use these colored beads next. There's probably way more than you need, but that's okay. You can find something else to do with it, or maybe create your own bead ornament. We're going to put it on the wire next, so it goes right down next to the beads. And what I want you to do is just twist it once so it's in its own little loop. So I'm just going to twist it once like that. Okay. So now you have the white beads with the star at the bottom. What we're going to do next is we're going to fill up this side, not all the way up, but we're going to make it about as long as this with your colored beads. And again, if you want to make it all one color, that's great. However you want to do it, you can choose whichever colors you want to use. So we're just going to start running them down there so that they will fill up the wire on this side. And again, I like lots of colors, so I'm going to use all the colors I have. The first time I did a bead project, or not a bead project, but a Christmas ornament project like this was when my boys were in grade school. I did a Christmas tree and a wreath, I think, for them. And that's what I wanted to do for you today. But the problem was that trying to use the same thing that I used for them, they don't make those beads anymore. It's been too long ago, so I had to come up with something totally different. But they love doing that, and it was something that I've heard from those kids through the years, the ones that stayed in touch with my boys, and I hear that they have really enjoyed it, and they've shown it to their own kids eventually, and maybe done it with their own kids. That was kind of fun to hear. So you can see that I'm getting quite a few on there. And I'm just using whatever colors. It really doesn't matter to me. But if you like all green, you can use all green or all red or whatever you have. Takes a little bit of time to get it going, but you can see I'm about halfway up now. So I'll just keep putting them on. My mom was very creative when we were growing up. I'm one of 8 kids. So she was always coming up with creative ideas of things for us to do. So I kind of got that creative gene from her, I think. It's kind of fun to try and think of new things to do. And something like this is something that you can keep and bring out every year and say, oh, I remember when I did this with my grandma or with my grandpa or mom or dad. It will bring back memories. And maybe someday you'll be doing it with your own kids. I feel like I'm going too slow here. I'm going to use my wire here to pick up some off of the tray. Let me scoot some down there so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just touch the bead and just let it go on there. Sometimes that can be a little bit faster if the beads cooperate with you. There you go. See, I got 5 on there all at once. Okay, how are we doing here? Well, it's getting close. I think I'll probably put just a few more on. All these pretty colors are so nice to have. And of course, this one's going to look different than the one I did first because everyone will look different. If you're just picking beads to put on there and it doesn't matter which colors you use, then it's not going to look the same as the one you did before. Okay, mine is just about as long. I'm going to put just a few more on because I want it to be just a smidgen longer than the clear ones. They're running away from me now. There we go. Oh dear, I let go of it and they fell right off. That happens sometimes. We can get some more on there. Having a hard time getting them on now. Sometimes you might want to do something like this and then take a break for a little while if it's hard to do. Just set it down, walk away, do something else for a while, and maybe come back in a little bit of time, and that way you won't get frustrated with it. There, that looks good. Okay, so I've got it just a little bit longer than the clear beads. So what I'm going to do now is make a loop in the end of this one too, so that these don't fall off. And here's where I really like my little pliers, because I can just loop it right around there and then squeeze it tight. Okay, you see how it is so far? Got the two little loops on the end, and make this one just a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so hold it at the bottom down where your star is, and what we're going to do is gently wrap the colors around the clear ones. And when you get to the top, you want those two loops in the wire to be together. Whoops. Okay, so I've got those two loops together. I'm going to put my pliers in the middle of the loop and in the middle of the other loop. Oops, I missed it. There it goes. So that they're right close to each other on my pliers. Now I'm going to take the two ends and wrap them around. Make sure you're above the beads, but below those little loops. Here we go. That should be good. Now my little wire snips. I'm going to snip off those little wires. There we go. And then if you have a hanger that you want to put it on, they can go right through those little loops at the top. Go right down to the bottom, and there you go. Whoops, came untwisted a little bit. There. And there's our icicle. I hope you like the one you created. So we're going to hang it on the tree now. I'm sure you've got a tree at your house where you can hang it just anywhere you want. And it's not too heavy. It can go on any of the branches. Remember, you can go to the church office and pick up your little baggie of supplies if you'd like to try and make these at home. Thank you.